y tenemos aquí a una persona muy importante a nivel mundial en lo que es el tema de las cervezas artesanales. Estamos hablando de Jeppe, que es el brewmaster de Evil Twin, una persona muy reconocida por el tema de los Gypsy Brewers, que es un tema que él instituyó hace muchos años y que tiene una gran cantidad de cervezas artesanales en nuestro mercado. Welcome, Jeppe, to Buenas Pintas. How do you like Panama?
Hot.
Tell me something. How many beers are you going to have in the Micro Brew Fest?
I'm not quite sure, but I think we're gonna do like 8 or 10 different ones. I haven't set it up, but I saw the list today, so it's about 8 to 10 different ones.
The story behind the soft Dookie beer.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually the first beer that we made as a company, Evil Twin. It's an imperial stout with vanilla. And I actually got the inspiration from a day where I was changing my son's diaper. It had this kind of sweet aroma to it, and I just thought of it. And there was a diaper, like a bag full of diapers, that said, "This diaper is specially designed for soft dookie," and that's how I came up with it. It's inspired by baby poo.
Now I know you're making sour beers also. You have Luxus. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Luxus was a beer we actually made for my restaurant in New York City. It was a Berliner Weisse made with licorice and beets, which is kind of an unusual thing to do in a beer. I haven't heard about anyone else doing it, but we made it for the restaurant because our chef had made a dessert with licorice and beets, so it kind of made sense to make a beer with the same ingredients.
Can you tell us about all that inspiration in naming those beers that way?
Yeah, I mean, some of the names I come up with, but a lot of the names is actually my wife, who's a copywriter. She's a trained copywriter. I mean, we just take inspiration from people we know and stories we hear. So they all have they all have a story. They might sound silly or they might sound like it's just fun, but they all have a story. Ryan and the Beaster Bunny, for example, is named after my friend Ryan, who used to help us brew in the beginning when we started Evil Twin. So it all makes sense actually.
In which countries you can find Evil Twin?
I mean, we actually sell in a few countries outside of the USA. I mean, USA is of course the biggest one, but we do a little export to a lot of like smaller countries. Chile, for example, Mexico, very small Mexico, Brazil. We do some of Asia and Europe also, obviously, since I'm from Europe. So you can find it out there, but we don't export a lot. It's not a big part of what we do, but it's fun to get the beers out to different parts of the world. Last year, which was our biggest year, obviously, because we're growing every year and we're only 5 years old. Last year we did about 20,000 barrels. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, I know. Micro.
I've heard that you have opened a brewery in Brazil, or you're working with a brewer closely in Brazil.
Yeah, I haven't opened the brewery, but we're doing Evil Twin Brazil. So I'm doing about 6 to 8 different beers down in Brazil at a brewery called Tupiniquim down in Porto Alegre. So we started the brand and a company down in Brazil. Yeah, and all the beers that we make in Brazil are new beers, so we don't make them anywhere else, and they're only made in Brazil. I mean, we have exported a little bit to Europe, but most of it is just sold in Brazil. Most markets worldwide, it seems to be growing, and people seem to be getting more and more into it, and more breweries are opening up, and more beers are being imported. So I think it's exciting, and that's why I travel to all these countries. When I went to Brazil the first time, it was like 2.5 years ago. It was young also. I went to Chile last year. It's very young in Chile also. So it's exciting to see how all these countries are getting in more and more into craft beer, and how the business is growing, and how more and more people are opening breweries or starting to import beers and opening beer bars like this one. So.
Bueno, estamos aquí con Jeppe de Evil Twin Brewery, que ha venido a visitarnos a Panamá, que ha hecho una colaboración con Casa Bruja. Hoy estamos aquí con el primer Meet the Brewer internacional que ha habido en Panamá. Esto es Buenas Pintas, este es Jeppe, muchas gracias.